We're talking Ball State. Don Shondell and Ray McCallum talking Ball State. Nate Davis and Bonzi Wells. Schumann, Bell Tower, and Worthen. Fans all over from Muncie to Berlin. Getting Concannons, Carters, and Greeks. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We got a little bit of a different look on the show today. We've upped our game here a little bit of Ball State of the Union. And you can also see we have a very special guest with us today. Projected starting quarterback for the 2025 Ball State Cardinals, number 1, Mr. Kiael Kelly. Kiael, thank you so much for joining us today. How have you been doing?
Good. Thank y'all for having me. I'm happy to be here and ready to talk ball with y'all.
There we go. We love it. Hey, before we get into all the ball, everyone out there, we need all of you guys to do one thing for us, or actually 3 things. We need you guys to like this video, leave a comment below. You can throw up the ones down in the comment section for Kiael for us if you'd like. And be sure to subscribe to the channel. All the subscriptions that we get help get the show out to more people and let everyone know more about what's going on with Ball State football. So, Kiael, I know you've been talking with Colin some. He wanted to kind of kick things off with you and start talking about your earlier football days before you got up to Muncie, and you got, coming from Florida. I actually live in Florida right now, over on the opposite coast from where you're from. But I know Colin's a little bit interested in that, and he wanted to kind of start there today.
Yeah. Kiael, before we even go into it, was that your first time hearing we're talking Ball State?
Second.
Second.
I watched when y'all talked to Coach U, so I heard it then. But that's the second time.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the vibe on that? Do we just need a new singer and keep the lyrics, or is it solid? Is it growing on you? It's been growing on me. Like sometimes I'm just walking through the house, I'm like, we're talking Ball State.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. It's great. But who's the voice? Is that one of y'all?
That's me.
John. That's
me.
John.
Then we gotta keep it original.
There we go. Thank you.
Okay, we'll keep it. Okay, so my first question for you, Kiael. You started off your high school career at Tampa Catholic. Your dad actually played there, and then you moved to Jesuit, and your brother actually, from my understanding, played there as well. And then you played Jesuit at Tampa Catholic before going there and snapped, but you guys lost. And then after you were at Jesuit, or after you played that game at Jesuit, it seemed like maybe the crowd won you over, and you ended up at Gaither. After playing at Jesuit, went 11-0 with Gaither, made it into the COVID playoffs, had 4 games all away, and it seemed like there was a bunch of D1 players on that roster. So, really, my question for you is, what's a big memory from high school football? Like, give me one thing you really are going to remember, and how does that help you coming into this next season, adjusting to a new coach, maybe a new offensive scheme?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my question.
When you say that, I kind of look back to my senior year, and it's kind of like going into that season is kind of the same situation I'm in now. Like new coach, new offense. Having to not necessarily win the team over, but get a bunch of guys to trust in me and my abilities. So I think one thing that I learned from all of my stops is you can never be complacent, because at that level, you just you try so hard to win a state championship, and at this level, it's really you're fighting so hard to continue to be the starter. So I feel like what I've learned from high school is don't be complacent, and just always put your best foot forward, because you never know who's watching.
Yeah, and I think we're getting a little feedback over there. Kyle, you might need to turn us down a little bit.
Oh, my bad.
You're good.
Good now.
Let's see. Can you hear me? Test. It sounds better now. Okay, perfect. So Kiael, we just had on Willie Snead recently, a Ball State great from, a few years before you got there. And he was in a similar situation to you, going from Florida to Indiana, playing at a handful of different high schools in that time frame. Before we get into kind of how you started at Ball State, I just want to know, what was it like going from Florida to Indiana? I did the reverse. I moved from Indiana to Florida, just lifestyle wise. I know it's a lot colder up there. Kind of how was it adjusting, moving from the Sunshine State up to the Midwest?
Yeah. I would say obviously the biggest difference was the weather. Um, Living in Indy that first year or two, I didn't know what to expect, and like that was my first time like really going through all the seasons, like actually seeing them. Like you know what I mean? Like you live in Florida, now, you can kind of, you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Because it felt like it was just always hot. Like if we did get winter, it was like a month or so. So like, um, I would say it's Tampa to Muncie is a big difference, but I'm a laid back person, so I was fine as far as moving from Florida to Indiana, but biggest difference definitely was the weather.
Okay. So coming out of Tampa, how do they find you down there? What's the kind of the recruiting process look like? We know you're initially committed to Illinois, I believe. And who else recruited you besides Ball State and Illinois, and kind of what ultimately put Ball State over the top and got your commitment and got you up into Muncie?
Yeah, so Illinois, what happened with that is they ended up taking another quarterback, and I really wanted to go to a school where I could play, early, and not that I was shying away from competition, but I felt I would be crazy not to entertain the schools that were talking like I would be like the guy. So
Mhm.
it eventually came down to USF or Ball State, and I wanted to explore like being in Tampa, going to college in Tampa. I wasn't against it. It was just like Ball State seemed like the best. In my opinion, it was the best for me because it was Drew Plitt. I could come in, learn from him for 1 year. We got John Paddock, Coach Nuke, coached in the NFL. So like it just seemed like all the cards were right here.
Okay. And so you talk about hoping to be able to come in and play right away. We know you get up to Muncie, you redshirt your first year, don't play very much until the end of the season, that your redshirt freshman season. And so, you know, that first action comes in a pretty crucial game in that 2022 season, that last game of the year against Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
Both teams coming into that game 5-5, bowl game on the line. Kind of describe that night for us, because I have to think it is probably somewhat of bittersweet night, because on one hand, you get your first college football action, probably something you've been waiting for your entire life, and you play really well. But then on the flip side, we do end up falling to that game in a close game. We miss out on the bowl game. What's kind of like that being your first day really of playing college football? Like how was that night for you?
Yeah, so just leading up to that day. So I don't know if you guys remember, but the week before we played Ohio, and late in the game, John Paddock ended up taking a hit. So in the facility and stuff, we didn't know if he was gonna be able to play. And like so all that week in practice, I was the one. So like I'm just preparing as the starter, and like getting to that day, I still don't know how much John was going to play. So I'm just preparing as a starter. So it's like I didn't want to make the moment too big, but I also knew what was at stake. And like uh, team works so hard, and you got seniors that this could be their last game, or should we go to the Bahamas? So like um I was surprisingly not nervous though. Like
Mm.
uh leading up to it, just in that time waiting, I'm like, I don't know when I'm gonna play, but when I do, I'm sure like it gotta be some nerves, but there was no nerves. So um I feel like that kind of let me settle in too. And just knowing that I necessarily didn't have anything to lose. So like
Mhm.
go out there and put my best foot forward, like I said earlier, and just see what happens. Turn out to
Kyle,
be
what was it like? Oh, my bad.
You good?
What was it like learning from uh the Drew Plitz, the John Paddocks? What was that like? Did they really take like a approach where they, tried to help you along and taught you things, or was it more just like by observation? Did you have a good relationship with those guys?
Yeah. Me and Paddock more so because we had more time. Me and Paddock actually ended up living with each other for a little bit, and not nothing against Drew Plitt. He was just a lot older than I was, so like it wasn't really a lot that we could really talk to or whatever. But anytime I needed help, he was there. I will say that Drew went out of his way to make you feel comfortable. Like no matter who it is, like he gonna invite you out with his family. No matter like he just a real friendly person. And but Paddock on the other hand, he just really taught me how to play the position, like what to do, what not to do. Living with him, just learning how to be a quarterback, like the lifestyle of a quarterback, because he I feel like he was very good at the position and at what he did. And it's just you could take little things from each of them.
Kyle, what was that locker room like in 2022 after that loss to Miami, Ohio, with the chance to go to the Bahamas?
Um, it was a lot of surprise because a lot of people felt like we had that. I don't know how to put it because like I just feel like a lot of people felt like we were supposed to win that game, and the way that we lost and how we lost it, like it was bittersweet, but also we were like we kind of didn't know like how to take it for going into next year because I just played in the game and we know that Paddock has another year coming back, so it's like leaving out of that game, we didn't really have like a sense of identity. I feel like from that game on, and it was like it was a real tough time because the close games that you lose, you feel like you win. They never leave. Like games still hurt to this day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For me especially, just as a fan, like the fans, and the players all think about these games over and over. Not even necessarily the ones that you win. It's sometimes the ones that you guys ultimately don't win are the ones that stick with everybody. And so that stings. But I'm sure you and all the rest of the guys that were in the locker room that night took that as a learning opportunity. And we're gonna get them. We're gonna get those guys this year. I got
Yeah,
faith in
After
it.
that game, though, John, after that game, we lose Carson Steele,
Hmm.
right? And we lose John Paddock to Illinois, where you had actually committed originally. So we did have some guys walk through the door, but luckily in 2023, we were able to pair you with Marquez Cooper. Later in the year, that turned to be pretty dynamic. What kind of mentality did you have to like stick through those first 6 games? Because Caden got the first 4 starts. We went 1-3. Then they gave 2 starts to Lane Hatcher. He went 0-2. They handed you the reins at 1-5. So you didn't have a lot of wiggle room there really at all. You did go on a little bit of a streak. You kind of salvaged the season. We got like 3 wins in 4 weeks. We lost to Bowling Green. It was a game you had 2 fumbles and we lost by 3 points. So that was a game that was right there. But really, honestly, it was nice to see you and Marquez Cooper playing off each other, complimenting each other. We got to see where your strengths were. But what was that like just waiting and waiting for your time to start? Even probably thinking like, "Hey, I know I'm probably better for this team than Lane Hatcher right now, perhaps."
right. So just waiting in those 6 games, I was in a. I feel like I was fine uh, in my role because I played in all 12 games. So like I still had a role to help. But like I would say it would get hard when some games that role was small and I feel like I could help this team. I could help us at least come closer in these games that we're losing. It's like that would hurt. But I would say what kept me motivated in that time was just um, just my family, like just expressing to me and making me understand that the player that I still was, like this doesn't define, you. And no matter what, another one thing that stuck with me in that time was it was my dad. I was on a group FaceTime with my dad and my mom. My dad was like, basically, you just got to be the best janitor you can be. So like, no matter what my role was at the time, just do that to the best of my ability, and that's what I did. And I feel like that benefited me in the long run because that one helped me stay ready for when my number was called, and two, I never complained. Like, I feel like they seen that. Like, I was always for the team, and like it kind of when we were 1-5, it kind of fell into like we knew Caden was redshirting, so it's like kind of like basically whatever happens happens, like nothing to lose in a sense. That was my mindset going into those last 6 games. Like, you got nothing to lose. We can either go perfect and go bowling, and if you don't, then not necessarily anybody expected you to do it, but just put the best games out there as you can and just try to win as many as you can.
Okay. Kyle, how did you feel about your usage in 2024 last year? You had limited reps at quarterback, lined up a wide receiver, lined up a running back. Even there was talks before the year of you playing defensive back some. Like, kind of how did that all come about? And kind of just what are your thoughts overall on all that? Because I know, the fan base, we all wanted to see more of Kiael Kelly last year. In the times that we did get to see you, it seemed like it wasn't the most creative offense that they were getting you guys out on the field in. So I'm sure that you probably have some thoughts on that. Kind of what were you thinking throughout the year last year?
Yeah, so it came about when I was going to enter the portal beforehand. I talked to Coach New, and he was just saying basically he felt like with my skill set and the type of player I was, I would be a good corner. And I wasn't opposed to it, and I actually like thanked him for his honesty because that's like really all I was ever looking for. And I just told him that I felt I owed it to myself to at least see what was out there because I felt like, yes, I didn't play the best at quarterback the year before, but there was things I could have built from, one, and two, I didn't feel like I played bad to where it was time to change positions, you know what I mean? So I just felt like it was more there. So I entered the portal, see what was out there. And as I entered the portal, they necessarily were still recruiting me, like talking to me and whatnot about what my role would be here. And my role was supposed to be playing both sides, more so a DB and having like a gadget role that I did in the first 6 games the prior year. And I felt like that outweighed everything I was hearing in the portal, and it was a no-brainer. And we got to camp. I was with the corners all the way through the first game. After the first game, I think I had a limited number of reps, and basically after that we talked, and it was like corner was more so of a. They felt I could play it, but they didn't trust because we didn't tackle as much in camp. There was things that they still had to see in order to put me in the game, and I was more so on the mindset of like playing now. So they felt like the best thing for me to play now would be moving to receiver, and yeah. So the rest of the year I was in the receiver room and just really had that gadget role, and I just taking whatever they gave me and running with it. So.
Kiael, I hated that for you personally. I don't want you to say anything that like, get somebody like upset or anything, but when they would put you in on offense, it was so obvious what was coming because they only ran it with you. So the defense knew as soon as you came in, we were just running. There wasn't really like a lot of, I don't know how many pass attempts you had in 2024, but it wasn't enough. And then we barely had any playing time at defensive back. To me, it felt like we got this kid that's super talented, one of the best players on the roster, and we're not really using him. So how hard is that to like you to come into the game, you're not in a rhythm. They're just like, all right, we want you to do a quick RPO. And the defense kind of knows it's coming. Like, how tough is that for you? And then, did you really feel like this last offensive, you can no comment me here, but do you really feel like the last offensive staff believed in you?
Um, as far as the situations I was being put in, um, I was really always taught to control what I could control. So no matter what the play call was, I had faith in it. I was expecting it to score a touchdown. Like, that necessarily wasn't the frustrating part. But I think the most frustrating part would be watching, like seeing us lose games and just wanting to be able to help somehow, some way, and like just knowing that my role that I have, I feel like it can be bigger, and I just wanted to help somehow, like Gunner, anything, like just help, let me help. And it was just frustrating. And as far as if they believed in me or not, I know for sure they believed in me because, they still chose to bring me back. Like
Mhm.
there was something there, obviously. I just think that I think that they were they were put in a tough situation, especially offensively with me starting camp on the defense, and we get into the season. Now we're in the flow of things. Now we have 4 days to prepare for games, and now I get moved into the receiver room. It's like hard to just throw me in there. So like I do believe that yeah, they tried. Um yeah, I believe they tried.
Okay. Yeah. Like you said, they're putting you out on the field. They're giving you, the best chances that they can. Sometimes, it just doesn't work out, and it's nobody's fault really. But this year, now we're on to this year now. We did kind of check out in the portal a little bit. You did go check out Toledo. How was that? And then what kind of ultimately ended up with you saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to come back to Ball State for my last year."
Yeah. I entered the portal during the season last year because we had one more game left. It was on Thanksgiving. Um, and that prior week, I played 0 snaps. So I just felt like it'd probably just be best now that Coach New's not here. It's best to enter the portal now, get a head start on it. And, so enter the portal. Uh, Toledo is great. It's a great city, a great town. You can tell the benefits of winning games there, like just the atmosphere and like just everything about it. You could tell that they won for a long time, and why they win. You can see that in just 2 days of being there. Um, they wanted they wanted me to play another position other than quarterback, um, which I wasn't opposed to because I knew that was going to be the really like my only options coming off a year only playing 40 some snaps. So it's like can't ask to play quarterback. But I will say with Toledo and Coach Candle, like I salute them because they were real honest with me as well. Like I went in there, went into the meeting with him and laid out like the options is really either here or Ball State, and really just wanted to see what his thoughts would be, and like we had a real honest conversation and about me, my future and my goals. And yeah, so I would say that he really helped all the staff at Toledo, they helped my decision.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's good. That's good to hear. We don't always, as fans, like to hear good things about rival schools, but it is nice to hear that they did treat you well in the short time that you were there. So um, now we got a new head coach in Muncie. Coach Yurimovich comes in. Uh, Kind of, what was the first time you were able to speak with him, and how has Coach U and his staff really been able to come in and kind of change things and get them kind of lined up for how they want things to be running for this year?
I talked to him like it was like 4, 5 days after he got the job, and I was a little nervous because like I never wanted to leave, and I was thinking like, okay, no matter like who the new coach is, he'll at least like reach out. And I wasn't hearing nothing, so I'm like, dang, like maybe he don't want me. But he reached out to me, and he had me come to his office, and I met with him, and he basically just first thing he said, he told me why it took so long for him to reach out, and he said he wanted to do his background check because, like I said, I left in the middle of the season. So he said he was under the impression that I didn't want to be here, and it's like it wasn't that. And like once he basically told me that he's gonna have to find a quarterback, and he felt like we had a quarterback in the building that can do what he's asking to do, and he would be like crazy to let that go. He said so. He just laid out to me that he was never gonna lie to me. He was gonna cut me straight, and just really honestly just be that true. He's that true players coach that you imagine. Like nothing against Mike New, but you really feel like the family were with Coach U. Like he really you can look up to, and like he don't seem like he's above us, Like I don't know how to put it. Like for instance, like Winter, he was out there, him and the staff was out there making pancakes every day for the team. It's like just little things like that that just show you that like he's in this with us, and he wants to turn this thing around and win now, and he's doing all the little things that he wants us to do. He's gonna do them first and just get this program to where it needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, we can speak kind of firsthand on that. There's not many Ball State shows out there, but we're one of them, and not super big following. And he went out of his way to come on and talk to us while he was moving. He did the show on top of a moving box, so I can see exactly where you're coming from. He's in this, with everybody else, and that's good to hear. And so in terms of that, you know, as fans, Ball State football fans, Ball State fans in general, alumni, what can fans expect from you as a leader in this 2025 season, and then just the team in general? Maybe what are some things that have you excited about the team, and what can people expect if they come out to a Ball State game this year?
I'm excited about our depth, just at every position. Quarterback, the running back, receivers, O line, D line, every position is just we have a lot of guys that can play, and like that's good for one practicing against each other. This is only gonna make us better, and two, it's gonna help push. Like I haven't been named a starter yet, and there's guys all the way down to the new freshman Kiael Wright that's pushing me every day. So it's like um, that feeling of everybody's hungry, everybody wants to win, everybody's tired of the same results, and we wanna hold up a trophy at the end of the year, and that's just the common goal. Um, was there another part to that question?
Yeah, just what can people expect, from you as a leader, to help lead this team in 2025? What maybe kind of how are you planning on going about doing that, or how have you already been doing that?
Yeah. My biggest thing is just spreading my knowledge. Like I've had the ability to be in three different position groups with three different or a bunch of different position coaches. So it's like I've seen the game from a lot of different lenses, like offensively, defensively, really playing the two hardest positions on the field. So it's like there's nothing that I feel like there's nothing that I can say that basically like if I don't spread my knowledge, then I feel I'll be doing them a disservice, no matter who it is. And like just lead them by example. Um, I want to be one of those leaders that people can look at and see that I'm doing the right thing and just lead without having to open your mouth. Like they see that you're doing the right thing. That's how you carry yourself. That's how and that would make everything else easier. Like leading by example.
All right, Kyle, you've been doing great so far in this interview. Now here comes the toughest part, This might be the toughest interview segment in all of college football, maybe all of sports. It's Colin's rapid fire round. Colin,
Yeah.
fire away.
Yeah, before I even get started, Kiael was just being nice. Toledo, you suck. Go Ball State. Um, am I understanding correctly that you're not as vocal of a leader? It's more like quiet. You go about your business, take care of things, and then people see you doing what you do. You're not one that's really at practice, like yelling at other people, basically.
Right. I feel like there's a time and a place for everything. And just from my years of being in college, like I feel like people respond more to the leader that leads by example and then opens his mouth when he sees something's up, rather than always being the loud one. You know, we get out here and you last in the sprint. So it's like just being that example, not only on the field though, either like going to class, being on time to meetings, just little things like that, you know, like picking up trash if you walk by it, like just not necessarily just being a football player, but being a human.
And Kyle, you got to talk a little bit about the wide receiver room because we got some dogs in there. Especially, there's players that are popping like at the spring game that we didn't have last year. Eric Weatherly Jr. Specifically has looked phenomenal. What's he gonna add to a group that you already got? Keon coming back, you got Ty coming back. We got a new guy we just signed today. I think his name is Reese Brevard or something like that. But they're saying he's a dog. It looks like a really good signing. I think the wide receiver room is going to be crazy and going to be a high point for us this year. So how does that make you feel knowing that like this year it's your last year, you got weapons, you should have the coaching staff fully behind you. You know how does it feel going into the season like, all right, yeah, I got weapons on the outside now.
Um, it's very you feel very comfortable because you know you got playmakers that can make a play whenever you need it. So no matter no matter who's out there, I think the best thing about that group is not there's not wide receiver one. I would say like there's 10 wide receiver ones. Everybody can go. So it's like um just trying to gel with them, getting the timing down because if I can't give them the ball, then really all that don't matter. So just I think that room is going to surprise a lot of people. I think the best attribute out of everybody all around is just that playmaking ability. Is we gonna stretch the field and make a lot of big plays.
Kyle, I've been, interviewing Coach you, interviewing yourself, talking to a lot of people around the program. I was there for like a 7-on-7 tournament that Ball State hosted. Got to talk to like Shaq, some of the other coaches. Am I crazy to think that bowling is a possibility? I don't want to go into like, Vegas is saying 3.5 or whatnot. Is it crazy to think we could have a bowling year here?
No, it's not crazy. I honestly would be very mad if we don't go bowling. I feel like that's honestly the bare minimum for our team. Like we got goals of winning the big one. We want the MAC championship, and I don't got time to wait till next year. So I say 6 games bowling. That's the minimum around here.
There we
Okay,
go.
right on. All right. Now I'm going to start the rapid fire round. The first question is, who's your favorite team to play in the MAC and why is it Kent State? No, I'm joking, but like who's your favorite team to play in the MAC?
Favorite team to play in the MAC? Probably Miami, Ohio. That was the first one, and like always, I play pretty well against them, and it's always fun. Those rivalry games, you can feel it. It's real close games every time we played, and it's a good one.
Those games are always nail biters. Do you
Mhm.
play college football 25, Kyle?
Yeah.
How
Mhm.
did you feel about how EA handled us in the game? I have just a couple of like qualms, like no dancing Charlie logos on the helmet. Um, no Charlie Cardinal mascot, even this upcoming year. The
Right.
roster when I was playing, a lot of times people that shouldn't be starting were like starting. Even like on the QB, they had you at QB1 and Caden at QB2. And just that year, that just wasn't the case. Do you feel like they handled that properly? And they
Uh,
were well researched, or what else could you have seen or noticed?
I can't really blame them. They got a hard job. There's a lot of teams. I feel like we could have helped our case more if we won some more games. So we can't really knock them. We got to do our part first, and then we can worry about that. But this year for sure, they would have had the updates ready when we doing
Right.
good. Yeah.
If you don't use Ball State, I'm under the impression that you use USF. Now, if I took away USF, who would you use?
Um. If dang, probably Colorado.
Oh, okay.
This is
With
the place where
Travis and
this is where the hard hitting journalism comes in, Kyle.
yeah.
This is what I told you. This is the toughest segment in the world.
Yeah,
So one of
Colorado for sure.
one of my favorite players that's been on the roster in like the last couple years that I have like a really good relationship with is Marquez Cooper. I got to throw like Keontae Newsome and Dee Snyder in there. We talk every now and then. But what was it like to play with Marquez Cooper? He seemed really explosive, had some pretty plays that year. You guys seem to have good chemistry. And even when he left, 1,000 yards every season he had. What was that like?
Um, it was great to see. It was amazing, honestly. Like for a running back, one his size is just run how he does, getting 1,000 yards a year is not easy to do. And can't say it was a fluke because he did it at 3 different schools. So
Hmm.
he's uh he's one thing I would say that I learned from him is there's there's never enough heart. Like that year when I took over, like me and him, we took on a heavy Russian like offense and like the hits I was seeing him take, like I don't know how he was hopping back up. He never missed a game, never complained. He complained that he wasn't getting enough carries. Like that's just like one of the he got the most heart out of anybody I've ever seen in a little body. Like that's my guy. And one thing about him, he had faith in me from the beginning of that year. Like just always being there, like knowing when something was up. He called me Vic. He just walk up like, "What's up, Vic?" and just talk to me. Just want to have a conversation. And that's my guy. We still talk to this day, honestly. And he was actually one of the first people to reach out to me when I entered the portal the second time. And we talked for like an hour, and he told me that he felt like staying at Ball State was going to be the best option, and turned out being the best option. So I respect Coop, and that's my guy.
He was definitely a dog. And I got to thank you just straight up. Like, you and him saved that season. Like dead serious. You guys were the reason that season got salvaged. There was a ton of highlight plays, and then we were like going on a downhill. It's so hard when the momentum is already going that way to turn it around. Like people don't even understand when you're on the sidelines and stuff is going bad. Like there has to be a spark. There has to be somebody to be like, no, this is about to happen. So I just want to thank you for that because not enough people know, and it still didn't end up being the season we wanted. But people even forget your first game against Toledo. We played Daquan Finn, and yeah, I mean I think you were like 4 for 16 passing, but you rushed for 100. It was a defensive struggle. Daquan Finn only had 166 yards. We were tied 6-6 with 90 seconds left. So it's like even from the jump, you made an immediate impact. So we got to thank you for that.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Um, what is your least favorite MAC team? Not the least favorite team to play against, but like the team you hate the most.
Ooh, uh, Miami, Ohio,
Hmm.
or nah, NIU.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know what's funny about you saying that? We asked the same question to Willie Snead last week, and I can't remember. I think maybe he said Toledo first, and then he said, wait, no, Northern Illinois," and he did the exact same thing that you did just now.
I had to think about it. Like I still have nightmares about the kicker hitting that game winner my freshman year.
Yeah. We
I
got
thought
him
for
back.
sure
jumping
we were.
around.
We got him back a couple
Yeah,
times though.
that was
Hey,
crazy.
Kyle, I'm not going to ask you for much. We cannot lose that game this year. We
Oh
cannot.
no,
Last game
heck no.
against these guys. None of us like them. We cannot lose that game. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I
All right,
can't do it.
Colin. Back to your rapid / not so rapid fire.
So we might have just answered this one, but what's the game you're most looking forward to this season, this upcoming season?
Uh, dang. Really, I would say Purdue. It's the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and I really gotta cherish all the moments. It's only 12 guaranteed, and I would say I'm most antsy for that one because, like I said before, I felt like last time I played, I just left so much out there as a quarterback. Like, I got a lot to not necessarily prove, but just build from that I didn't feel like I had the chance to last year.
Kyle, I'll be there. I'll be there. Please win. I'll be so obnoxious. All right. How do you want to be remembered at Ball State, like legacy wise, after this season?
I just want to be remembered as quarterback that never gave up. That went through a lot, that never gave up on the program, on the city, on the vision, and I want to be remembered as the person that got it all started. I think that under Coach U, there's way better days coming, and I'm honestly blessed that he's running the show for my last year. I can't really complain at all. Just being here for the start is something great here.
Now, this might be the most important question of the rapid fire segment. We've asked every guest, and even John and I are somewhat split.
Mm-hmm.
Dancing Charlie or the traditional Cardinal logo?
Dancing Charlie.
Yeah.
uh,
Anybody with any swag likes Dancing Charlie. I'm just gonna say it.
right. I feel like even when it was in the middle of the field, like it looked clean. But I also understand. I was at Coach Eddie Faulkner's camp, and some of the former players was there. I think it was D Hill that said he was like, when you think of Ball State, it's like you think of the old Cardinal. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. So like, for us to keep that brand going, like if somebody seen the Dancing Charlie, they probably don't even know that it was Ball State. It's like you got the flag in the back right there. So it's like that's the Cardinal head that everybody knows for Ball State, which I understood. And I hope we can bring it back for at least 1 or 2 games, throwback.
Kyle, what's your favorite restaurant in Muncie or the Village?
Yummy Buffet, that's a little hidden one. Nobody really go there for real,
Never
but
heard of that one. Okay.
Yummy Buffet. It's right across the street from Walmart.
Okay.
All right. Who's the funniest guy on the team?
Uh, dang. I feel like shoot, in this age like that changes all the time with all the transferring and stuff. But I would say out of the people that been there, probably Drew Hughes. He a different kind of funny, Andrew Hughes, but uh or Avery Stewart, he is hilarious. He is hilarious for sure. There's a lot of people. We got a lot of clowns, man. It's a great time on the team.
All right, this is my last rapid fire question. What are some personal goals for next season? And my personal goal for you, I got my own goal for you. I want to see 3,000 passing yards. But what oh, I forgot where I was going. What are your personal goals for this season?
Um, First is to win the job. Uh, After I win the job, then I want to win the first game, and then gotta get the ball rolling, and bowl game, MAC championship, and then the long term goal is getting drafted.
Mhm. Yeah, one step at a time. The crazy thing is, and this is kind of like followed you. This kind of like this fan opinion, some fans, that you're run first. You're not really a passing quarterback. And honestly, from what I've seen, you got it there. It is there. It is there. It just all has to come together. And I'm hoping this is the year that you do it.
Yeah, to like you hear it and like you understand it, but I get it. And yes, I wasn't perfect at passing, but I think some people like fail to realize that I was just doing what I was asked to do. So like um I didn't ask for the offense to change once I became the starter. This is what they decided to do, so I went with it. So it's like um I was doing what I was asked to do, and in that it was I didn't throw the ball well, and I know that for sure, and I do know that I can throw it. Like shooting in high school, there was never a problem with me throwing the ball, like none of that. So like we know it's there, and like you said, it does have to all come together, and a lot of that was just confidence, and I feel like being in a system where people believe in you and the team believes in you, and like knowing that this is your last year, like it got to come together. Like it's a lot of factors that can play into that as well.
Kyle, before we get into our last piece of business here, I just wanted to extend a thank you. In this day and age of college football, guys sticking around and seeing things through, that's kind of a thing of the past. And I think it's very admirable, and it shows the loyalty that you have to Ball State, the Ball State fans. And I just want to say thank you. And everyone out there should be appreciative that Kyle has, through good times and bad, decided to stick by this team and stick by this program, which is something that, all of us fans, at as for fans of a school like Ball State, we would love more of. So I just wanted to, before we get into the last thing, I just want to say thank you for that.
It's rare
Yeah,
nowadays.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I always wanted to be in Muncie. I made that known. It's like a big thing for me was since I transferred 3 times in high school. It's like you don't need to do all that transferring in colleges. You need one scholarship, and that's all you need. If you're good enough, they'll find you anywhere.
Mhm. So let's talk about some off the field work you have coming up. I think in a couple weeks here, we have a football clinic here. I believe Muncie Central High School. Looks like it's on, when's that? July 14th.
14. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So everyone out there right now, if you have a football player from the age 7 to 15 who wants to go and join into this, we have a QR code right here on the screen. So Kyle, kind of explain to us how this came about, and if someone decides they're going to come to this 1-day camp, what they can expect.
Yeah. So the summer going into the 2023 season, I actually worked at the YMCA, and in my time there, I built connections with not only the members of the Y, but for people like the people that are behind the office and stuff, and they're Ball State fans and whatnot. But you know, I feel like that was my best way to like to the communities through the Y. So last year I sponsored some of the Y members to come out to a game, and now I wanted to team up with them and get a clinic going on, like it says here. But for the people that come, you can just expect a good time. All skill levels are welcome. We're not looking for anything crazy. We just want to have a fun time. We got 2 hours to put a smile on as many kids' faces as we can. I don't want anybody to be nervous to come out or anything. Just sign your kid up and let's have fun.
Is there anyone else within the Ball State football program that's going to be there with you that day, or is it just you?
Yeah, I'm having a couple of the players come out right now for sure. I know Jamarion McDougal will be there, and Ashton and Rocky will be there, and I'm trying to get at least like 8 more or whatnot. So it'll be a good amount of Ball State players there.
Okay. This is a great opportunity not only to get to interact with the players up close and personal, but learn a thing or two from them. So great marketing material here. We got a who, what, where, when, and why. Who 7 to 15-year-olds win July 14th, 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. at Muncie Central High School. Unbelievable cost. If I was in this age range, I would go just because of the cost. YMCA members only $5, non-members $10. So, if for some reason you're thinking, man, I'd like to get that 50% discount, go join up to be a member of the YMCA there in Muncie. It's a great place for people to go and kind of get together and make sure that everyone's, being healthy and supporting each other. So again, we got the QR code here on the screen here if you'd like to sign up. Otherwise, you can probably find Kiel on some various social media platforms if you need to get any more information. But Kiel, this was great. I don't know, Colin, do you have any last thoughts or comments here for Kiel before we let him go?
No, I really just want to echo like what you said. Like nowadays, nobody stays at a place for 4 years. This man rode through the mud with us, so I'm riding with him.
We love it.
That's it.
So
Yeah.
Kiel, thank you for your time. We're looking forward to, seeing you get out there on the field this year. Hopefully, you have the chance to win that starting job, like you said, and we can really see, the reins taken off you and we get, hopefully, like you said, 12 games or hopefully more than 12 games this year. So appreciate your time. Everyone out there, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to follow Kiel, what social media platforms are you on?
Instagram, Kiael Kelly 1. Twitter, X is Kiael_Kelly.
Okay. Everyone out there, be sure to go and follow Kiel as well, so you can keep up with what he's going on. So until next time, everybody, that's all we have here today at Ball State of the Union, and we'll all say chirp, chirp, and we'll see you all next time.
Sure. Appreciate y'all.